Blacklist.
Blackblaze.
Oh,
Blacklist.
blacklist.
Loom. What about Loom? Are we still paying Loom?
No,
We need to
we are no
confirm, but
longer
we are
paying
not
them.
sure.
We stopped using Loom, I think 3 years ago.
But therefore, TDR, I see this extra. A lot of money is always cut for that. I don't know.
For what?
TLD registrars.
Those are all of our websites. So we need to go through all the websites, prioritize the websites, and all the costs for the servers.
Oh,
That's
that's
probably our biggest expense is the server and the websites.
actually a lot. I see. If I go to bills list, and quarterly, we have a lot of money there.
Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to organize all of our websites and have every single website prioritized in terms of how high of a priority it is, and then to know the exact cost of each website. And then that, because right now we just pay the bills. Generally, we don't actually verify each individual website. So that's going to happen on a separate.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think we could
Oh,
cut some expenses there, but the biggest expense of all is our InMotion hosting.
Yeah, emotion was thing is having a lot also.
So the InMotion hosting has a annual cost of about $2,000 a year,
wow.
plus the $50 per month. So you do $50 a month, and then you
So
do.
$50 a month
Mhm.
plus two
In
thousand a
fact,
year.
no, the highest one is
Oh,
not that one, J. UPS.
What is UPS?
UPS paid. Oh, it's yearly. Okay, okay, that's yearly. I thought it was.
So so we probably pay about 2,500 to dollars on our server, and then we have hundreds of websites. So overall, we're spending over $3,000 a year on websites. That's
There's
our
a lot
number
on
one
website.
expense.
Actually, you are right.
So
Very many.
that's our number one expense that we have in our all of our bills, and it roughs out to about you know probably $500 a month on all of the websites.
only the websites.
Yeah, for the websites, and that doesn't include the backups. So then the backups
Not
could be
even
additional.
500. It goes to like 600 per month.
Yeah. So
600.
the backups could increase that to like $1,000 a month. So the vast majority of all of our expenses are our websites, our backups, and our servers. So that's the primary expenses that we have. So we need to go through. We should separate all of our, like we should organize our bills, right? So let's go down to uh line 157. Okay. So
Mhm.
this
Mm-hmm.
is our future plans for
Bills.
bills organizing, right? And all the things. So the first, so that we're going to categorize our bills. So categorize.
Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So the first category of bills are legal bills. So legal bills have to be separated out so that we organize all of our legal bills, right?
Yeah,
Then we
we
have
have
And
monthly
we
bills.
have a legal bill separate already.
yeah, then we have all of our normal bills. So let's categorize out the normal bills as well. So for the normal bills, we would have all of our server website and backups bills. So I would say everything that server website backups, like that should be separated out from everything else so that we can go through it in much more detail, because that is like our number one expense by far. Like it's like three times more expensive than anything else. I would say from there we also have personal bills. because those are all kind of different. Then I would say that we would just have like other bills. Right, so I would say these would be the 4 primary categories of bills that basically we have our legal bills, our server, website backup bills. We have all of my personal bills, and then we have all of the other bills, because the other bills are really not that much.
Yeah.
Right, like all of the other bills are like not a lot going on there compared to this server and
The server
website,
and the website and the backup.
especially after you get rid of all the legal bills. So once you get rid of all the legal bills and all the taxes and all the government stuff, then you're just left with the other bills. And then again, coming back to the server website backup bills, there is one other category that I think we could set aside, which would be um, our multimedia bills. So um, like there's our server, website, and backup bills, like literally just for our websites, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then you have our multimedia bills, which would be for our umbrella um, media company. So then I think you could separate this out again. Again, this is where all of our money is going to be going. Is that basically we have the multimedia bills where we're going to be spending money on overseeing all of our public connections, and then the other bills that we're going to be having are our assets bills. So any bills related to our assets and dealing with our tokens, assets and tokens, and finance bills, like basically bills.
You also
Stop.
have the
Write down
taxes
whatever
bills.
you were about to say.
Taxes would be a legal bill,
6 minutes.
legal and tax bills.
Okay.
Right. So basically you've got our server, website, and backups, which would be related to communications and everything. And then you've got your multimedia bills and your assets bills. So these ones we don't have much going on right now, but over time those could increase, especially if we're successful. So we should be spending more money on overseeing all of our assets and tokens, and we should be spending more money on our social media and all of our outreach and public communications. So that our media bills could also include our bills for so let's call it like, no, I don't know that. Uh, let's say comms platforms bills, comms platform and multimedia bills, right? So if it's for communication
Yeah,
platforms, like how do we
communication.
communicate with the public, I think we could add in, for example, Upwork and Workana, and Outsourcely and other platforms that we've used that cost us money to connect to the public. So all anything and everything that costs money to connect to the public should be categorized and understood. So this is a whole nother category of bills. Like we are paying lots of money to Workana and Upwork that we need to be, um, you know, including in our costs of doing business, which we're currently not, because we just put it into payroll and we basically ignore it. But it's actual costs that we need to be calculating. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, and then all of our assets and tokens and finance bills, we don't have a lot right now, but we should have many more. We could potentially put the bank fees in there as well. Like we have a bunch of bank fees that we end up paying. The transfers, like when we use crypto, there's usually fees for using crypto that we should be estimating and including in that as well. So I think all of our overseeing our assets should be included. So, anyways, I think that 6 categories, like we really only have 4 categories right now, which is legal, server, and websites, my personal bills, and then we have other bills. But we should add in, as because we're going to be putting all of our new money. So we have all this new money coming in for the new contracts, and we're going to be putting the vast majority of all of that money into the multimedia and the assets, right, and the tokens. So we should start tracking how much money we're spending on those. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then the last thing we need to do to finish up here is make sure all this information is organized in the work organizing. And
Mm-hmm.
then the Google ad, we're not sure what to do about that. We were checking on to verify to see if it had a phone number we could call.
Google ad, you
Back.
say we need to get rid on.
Yeah, we want to get rid of it, but I don't know how to.
Okay.
And you said it's like
As
20-30 bucks a month, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so we need to keep working on that. We should also think about when we're going to go through these bills again. So this would be part of our normal bills, which should happen once a month, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the in-motion hosting, there's one interesting thing on that, which is that if we can upgrade our server for all the websites, and just so you know, when we look at this $2,000 that we pay for the server, it's like, there's hundreds of websites. So we spend $2,000 a year for hundreds of websites. So that works out to $166 a month divided by, like, let's say, 350 websites. So overall, we are paying less than $1 per website. So we're paying about 50 cents per month per website. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
we have a dedicated server, because it would be much more expensive if we individually hosted each individual website. Speaking of another server service that we could cancel that costs money, I did set up a Luigi server. So there's another server that I set up that costs money. So let's say this is a Luigi comms server for, this is part of at protocol proto. So this should definitely be canceled, because that would say it's only like $5 a month, maybe $10 a month. So it's not a lot. Jailer virtual mail is pretty
But
high
it's
up
still not
there.
small.
Well, yeah, I mean, we want to cut everything we can. So that's another
Yeah.
another one cut. So then there's going to be California virtual mail. So this one is important, but we don't have it added yet, so we need to add it in. So the phone AT&T is pretty important. It's hard to cut that, but we could reduce it. Dental insurance, also pretty important. Google ads, we want to get rid of that. One up social media, we already got rid of it, I think. We'll put it on one. Renewal of USDOB address is no longer applicable. So we're going to get rid of that. Okay,
And
so there we have.
time to start. Please get focused on the session.
Oh, we missed our break. So let's take a. We have all of our bills prioritized, except for dealing with all of the websites. So
Yeah.
I would say my proposal is that we give ourselves another, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, um, to start verifying all of the server, website, and backups bills. So we categorize, organize, and process every single bill we have for all of our servers, all of our websites, all of our backups, and start organizing. We're obviously not going to finish it in 2 weeks, but if we get started with that, then I
It's
think
very
we're off.
important.
Yeah, so then I think we're off 100% pay stop, and then we just need to organize all this information in the let's take a break, and then let's vote and get approval on a deadline for our next bills cutting goal. Okay.
Okay. But I already added the next step. That's the future plans for bills on the organizing spreadsheet.
Yeah. Good. All right. Quick break.
I'm back.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back as well.
Let's continue the journey.
So we just need to choose a deadline for focusing just on our biggest bills, which are just the server.
Okay, let me look at the calendar. Uh, uh, Munjan. Munjan.
The other thing we did not do is we did not go through all of the yearly bills. Yearly
Yeah, but
bills are harder to cancel though because you know you don't have to pay them. So it's like you have to pay them in the future. So it's best to have a plan and be prepared to cancel them when you're ready, you know?
yeah,
But I was mentioning for the server, we can upgrade our InMotion server to a better version that's going to be cheaper. And we should be able to save like, I don't know, $400 or $500 a month. I mean, a year. So it's only like $10 or $15 a month though. So not
can we say
necessarily
until the deadline till 20th of May?
the 20 what the May?
Last quarter moon, May 20th.
Um, and for me,
How's
I was
that?
thinking more like 2 weeks. That's more like a month, right? More than a month. So if we don't want to do it in the next 2 weeks, I mean, I'd say that there's not really much a reason to do a new deadline. That we would just focus on our existing
Pause.
bills
Let's do
deadline.
it full
Close
moon
your
then.
eyes. Count.
Full moon
1, 2, 3, 4,
is
5.
when
Open your eyes.
uh, can do full moon. Day 12.
The 12th, okay. Yeah. So if we want to do the full moon, we can. Otherwise, well, I don't think we need a deadline. We'll just go for our existing deadlines for all of our normal our bills updating. You.
Okay, full moon. I don't know about the Ate. Ate, are you okay
Yes,
to full moon?
yes. Let's do full moon 12.
Okay, so May 12th, full moon. So I'm going into deadlines. Um, New deadlines. This is May 12th, 2020 for
Server
bills
website backup
review and
cuts.
sets on server website.
How many percentage? 100%, 0%, paste.
Let's just do 50%.
Can you make it 50%?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, on where you post. When you do the reminder, it should, yes, perfect, like that. What else, man?
Jay, you need a glass of
Oh,
water.
Take
I
what?
know. I just ate a bunch of bread, so. All right, so I need to get going. But as far as the other pay stop, the terms should not be very hard. We just need to go through the terms. We need to add in the co-op 2.0 agreement, and that's pretty much it, and make it clear what that is in relationship to the changes on the deadlines and the deliverables. So other than that, there's not that there might be a couple word changes here in the other terms, but overall 99% of the terms will be exactly the same. So it's just adding in the one additional question for the co-op 2.0.
Okay.
So, but for the bills, we are off 100% pay stub.
Yes, I think we did more than enough. We went through everything. I mean, it's really difficult to cut the bills. I don't know what we're gonna do
Yeah.
these cuts, but I
We
think
just we just
that
need to
I mean, that
constantly schedule on these cuts, and because it's not a one day work.
well, yeah. I mean, we're supposed to be doing all of our bills updating all the time. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Time to
The
stretch.
bills
but
are,
Please
I
stop.
really noticed
Stand up
today.
and stretch
uh
and
huh.
move around for 30 seconds.
It's have a lot. You need to do more on bills. It's not something for one day, and we have different type of bills with a
Yeah.
lot even.
I mean, I would say as much time as we spend on payroll, we should be spending on bills, which should be much less than we have spent in the past. But we should be doing our payrolls, then we should be doing our bills because the bills are the same as the payroll. It's just instead of paying ourselves, we're paying other businesses,
Yeah,
right?
other business. Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to make sure our bills are organized, especially when we're paying the bills more than we're paying ourselves. Like that's a huge problem. So we need to figure out how to reduce our bills and our costs because it's not good in figuring out how to recoup some of this. So anyways, there yeah, there's also yeah, there's so much
I have
there's
a
I think
question.
focusing in 2 weeks on all of our server bills and our most expensive bills and making a plan and try to see how we might be able to save money there, I think will be very, very good. So we can just have a plan, but what we need to be focusing on the most is how to bring in new money, do the multimedia work, and get connected to the public and start, ideally bringing in some more donations and stuff because we need to figure out how to make money or get new clients to do something. Lucy, what was your question?
Yeah, that's true.
So are we supposed to create a new brand spreadsheet that will have different categories for?
We're gonna have a separate spreadsheet, but I think it already exists just for the websites and the servers and the backups. So we're going
Okay.
to go through and find out exactly how much money we're spending on our most expensive cost, which is basically the internet. Okay,
Okay.
and try to
Yeah.
figure from there. If we really wanted to get organized, we would start doing SEO and getting all our websites so that they were presentable, and then we could start doing advertising. Actually, try to earn income on our websites. But for now, let's just start by getting our websites connected into all the multimedia. So once we get the multimedia all set up, and we actually maybe that might increase our traffic, then we
Mhm.
can start, and that will also help the tokens. Then we can start actually looking into future revenue from the websites themselves. For now, we just want to focus
Yeah.
on tokens, but eventually we might want to actually look into that. But that's like many years down the road. Right now, we just need to overall as a business, spending $3,000 a year as our number one expense is very small.
Yeah, we definitely need to exploit these websites so that we can recover the money we are spending monthly on it.
Time to
Yes.
pause. Please
Yeah.
stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2,
Because if you
3.
don't pay the domain name, it will be taken away from you.
Yeah.
At least I have an
So,
idea on that.
but overall, as a business, like we're a nonprofit, social business, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
have all of our, token side of it and our social side of it and our cooperative side of it. But overall, our number one expense for the entire network, right, for FQV, the whole vortex, is basically $3,000 to $5,000 a year for all of these websites, right? So let's say we are around $5,000 a year that we're spending on all of our servers and websites and backups. Maybe it's a little more, maybe it's 6,000. That's still not a lot of money, which is why I'm able to personally cover these costs, right? Like most businesses don't only spend like
3,000.
5,000, ten thousand
Mm-hmm.
dollars a year. Usually businesses are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a
Yeah,
year,
hundreds
right?
of thousands.
So the reason why we're able to barely skate by is that we don't have a lot of costs, right? And
Mm-hmm.
obviously we've significantly cut our
Cut some, yeah.
costs on our payroll, but we didn't really have that many costs on our bills, so it's hard to cut the bills because there are not a lot of them, and even though we have a lot of bills, it doesn't necessarily make it so that we're going to go bankrupt, because our biggest bill is like the $6,000, but it's still good to cut as much as we can. So we should be able to cut websites and domains, and we should be able to cut potential servers and services, and or you know some things like saving $100 here or there per month would be excellent, and we should easily be able to do that. So I think we should be able to save at least $1,000 a year, if not more, if we just continue to review our bills and just keep cutting. But more importantly, is trying to figure out the revenue, right, and bringing in new money. That's
Yeah.
obviously important.
Okay,
All right.
let's
Any
go to
other
wrap
last
up.
questions?
No, 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 no.
Oh no, I have a question on wrap up. Just a quick review. If you can review my AMCAS proposal for 1 minute on wrap up before I send it out.
What is it? A proposal? I'm confused. What's going on?
Yes,
Where is the proposal to review?
I'm pasting on wrap up.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
It's here on wrap up online 37, 34, 35.
So we have a list of agreements. No, list of expectations before agreement, and then we would have the list of expectations after agreement. So it looks like we have most of our expectations after agreement of like working on these tokens, so that's certainly good. But there was also expectations before agreement.
So what should what need to add there on my proposal? What is missing? Is
The
expectation
list of
before?
expectations before the agreement is completely missing it entirely, which would include all the expectations, right? But as far as the list here, we have multimedia ends up by end of April. So I don't know what that means, end of April. Um, I don't know if all of these have already been approved or not for all of these pay
Yeah,
stubs.
those are the approved one. Any deadline that I put there is
But
something
it
that
says here April 15th, which is already passed. So that's
is
obviously
already
not
passed.
functional. Liquidity updates in 3 days. I mean, I don't see this as happening. It's not realistic. Or we're already overwhelmed with all of our deadlines. So we need to be strategic. So I remember we created deadlines for some of these token things. So we need to review those and make sure they're correct, and then see if we need to update anything. But I don't think you necessarily need to list the deadlines here. We just need to make sure that we have them. So the expectation before we get agreement is simply that we have clear deadlines to address the token issues. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, clear deadline
And then we
before.
can list all of the issues that need to be addressed in the expectation. So the client expectation would be that the token profiles are addressed with, that the token liquidity is addressed with, that the token that we do token multimedia, we have the token websites updated.
Is that
Time
after
to
agreement?
pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Deadline.
What about the other proposal? Was the other proposal approved, or what's the status of that in the policy or not policy on it?
It was voted on.
But what exactly was voted on and approved?
Uh, but you say it was wrong, so I don't know what. But you say again it is fine. I can just make sure I do the AMCAS cover an agreement on AMCAS.
Well, it just all depends on what it is that we're getting approval for. So we should have clarity on what the agreement is. Yeah.
Let me go back to AMCAS.
Anyways, you guys can go over this some more on your own too, but I need to get going because I only have a few minutes before the next session, so we're way over time. So
Okay.
we're definitely not perfect on this session. So I would say 3.5 on it, and then you're getting additional $4. Oh wait, I don't know what the
6.
No, we are
12.
past deadline.
It's past deadline. So is it 3 or what is it? Did we do?
It's like 3 or 4. 4. If you do the calculation the way we did with you, it's like today's. No, we don't. We are not past deadline, J, because we pushed the
It's
deadline to
Sonic. It's Sonic.
Oh yeah, you're right. We pushed the deadline back, so it's
yeah.
It's six
no,
dollars.
so it's $6 for updating the terms, but even that could be recalculated depending on the total value.
Okay, session. And,
Here I'm seeing $6 for
bill
emergency
cut.
cuts.
Okay.
Yes, bills, emergency cuts, $6.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so it's a $6 plus the 350, which is whatever it is, 950. So in the context specifically for the next deadline,
Time to
that
take a break. Please stop. Write down
The
whatever
nine
you were
point
about
five.
to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
that deadline is not for cutting the bills. That deadline is for specifically the servers and the websites and
Yeah.
the um yeah,
Then
and
what
the
is
back.
this
So
deadline
we
for
um
this?
we are going to need 2 sessions for that. That's going to be a little bit of extra work because we have to go through potentially 50 to 100 websites. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay,
Okay,
Jay.
bro.
Thank you for your time.
Ciao. Bye.
Yeah.
Ciao. Lucy, please copy summary for summary chapter. Is it chapter topic 2?
Topic 2. We are tired. This is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay, let me copy.
Oof. So if we go to wrap up, or is it verification? Verification. Let's say it's 100%. Storyline 100%. Indexing is 100%.
Oh, topic. I did not. We did after session. Just need to update the storyteller and to be under all of them 100%.
Yeah, that I just did that.
Okay. Wow. I don't know what's next, really.
So for
You know,
this wrap
I
up, we
just
have.
forget to ask Jay about the what Martin brought back again. Oh my God.
But when did they have that session with him and Sandra?
You know, we have a session with the Martin, right? And he was clear about
Hmm.
it, and he said, "Okay." Last time when you are not there, we have a session. He brought it as a fresh. So when we asked him,
Again?
we did, yeah, yes. That's why we stuck on payroll until payroll again. Jay said, now you need to write what someone was getting. You need to work on payroll again. Ah, then
Hmm.
when I ask him now, need to say it in front of Jake, and Jake, and we finish that. He did not respond, and he cut off and disappear after today. So the payroll is going to be like that.
Hmm.
So, le, 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 le. Let me so now it will be, let me put our deliverables, $3, 3 point. Okay, it's always good to put this one now. Let me do it. I don't know what's gonna happen with this payroll. My God,
Which payroll?
uh, this just payroll that is just we are support for bonus. I just don't know. I tried I tried to apply the skill that you told me for the business, man. It's nothing. I'm not, hey, my Ateh can tell you things are not easy.
You just need to follow up mm, your bonus so I can take it and do the business. Business, you just need to be patient.